Let me hear you. Good and loud. All right, Gary. On one. On two. On three.
And now, two people that probably know you better than you know yourself. That's my whole ballgame all night long.
You know, Mickey Morandini and Tony Gwynn might not seem like natural bedfellows on the diamond, but these two sons of baseball's grubby golden age helped yank the game into a new gear in the 90s, each in their own delightfully different way. Morandini, that wiry little bastard out of Pennsylvania, brought a kind of scrappy, dirt under the nails intensity that made infield purists cream their pants. Gross. Second baseman who could turn a double play smoother than a bottle of wild turkey on payday. He wasn't afraid to get his uniform dirty or spike a motherfucker sliding into second. You wanted finesse? Go watch ballet. Mickey was all grit and balls, flipping the bird to an era of bloated power hitters with every slick pivot and head first dive into first. Tony Gwynn, on the other hand, was the goddamn professor of putting bat to ball, a rotund assassin with the swing of a cherub and the eye of a sniper. While juiced up meatheads were out there trying to rip the skin off the ball, Gwynn was slapping it through holes like he was cheating at Tetris. In an age when strikeouts became trendy and everyone wanted to hit it like it was home run derby, Gwynn said, "Fuck that. Hit 394 in 94 like it was a stroll through the damn park." He studied pitchers like he was trying to blackmail them and then surgically embarrass them for 9 innings straight. He didn't need bombs when he had precision and maybe a little belly to cushion the bat. Together, they showed that baseball wasn't just about roids and radar guns. Morandini proved defense could still make you hard, while Gwynn reminded the world that bat control was sexier than brute strength. They weren't loudmouths or showboats, just straight-up craftsmen with big league swagger and fuck-you attitude toward trends in a decade overrun by biceps and bullshit. These two kept it real. One by diving into the dirt, the other by painting lines on a scorecard like a chubby Picasso with a Louisville Slugger. Want to talk about impact? These guys changed the game without ever having to hit 40 home runs, and that's the whole ball game. We got Mickey Morandini and Tony Gwynn today, Blakers. How you doing?
Well, I guess if we got the biceps and the bullshit, we better go get the fucking brunch, huh?
I suppose you're right about that.
Hey, you know what they usually put on the table when you have brunch?
What's that?
A nice flowery rose.
You know, I was reading about roses this week.
Were you? What were you reading? You pervert?
Was. Look, you know, if Papa's taught me anything, it's that when you're crafting, when you're out here creating the way that you and I create,
sure,
you have to give of yourself to the process,
yes.
Right? And so when you mentioned, oh gosh, it must have been 12 hours ago now, that you had been researching and diving deep into anal prolapse, I thought, that's not for me. I don't want anything to do with that. And your response was, no. That's not what Papa taught us. And
right.
Damn it, if you weren't right again. And so, a good 6.5 of the last 12 hours, I've been researching anal prolapse and exactly what it is, how it's done, why it's done, whether it's on purpose or accidental.
Now, let me ask you this. Do you know in your study now of the prolapse, do you know where the threshold is between what makes you an amateur lapse and a prolapse? There it is. Yeah.
All I know is that I'm number one in the ring.
He's a real. Hey, you know that Claudio Castagnoli writes some tremendous limericks. Great shit. Cesaro, King of Swing. Get it?
Got it. So there you go. Expect the program this week to be peppered, just full of references to roses and prolapsed anus as we discuss our superstar, of course, Mr. Tony Gwynn, and our kisser this week, Mr. Mickey Morandini, Northwest Indiana legend, by the way.
Oh, wow. Not to beat this to death, but I do remember a few weeks ago that Marvin reminded me that he was a different type of gold, and that was, what was that? Marvin? Where's Marvin? Get Marvin in the room. God damn it.
Jesus Christ. I don't know.
I know he's dead and he's
not just
Dynasty.
Shit's not on demand. Hold on a second. Hey. Oh, you know what? I forget. Sometimes it's as easy as saying quail eggs.
Look, it's a Fabergé dodo egg. I'm going to eat it.
Turkey jerky.
I have the rarest bird.
Oh my God! I was just messing with you. I've been listening the whole time. I want to see how far you're gonna take that gag. You know.
Yeah, I know. Right? God damn it, Marvin! You're rose gold, Marvin. That's what you are. Remember?
Well, I'm not just any kind of gold.
Say it. It doesn't sound the same when I say it. You got to say it in that gravelly voice.
Oh, I understand now. Okay, yeah, you want me to say it out loud, do you?
Yeah,
you want me to dance for you like I'm going to paint myself up in blackface and I'm going to dance around like the man used to do for the white man. That's what you mean?
Roddy, don't play that.
I'm not just gold, Blakers. I'm rose gold.
Ah, there it is. Hey, do you know about the prolapse anus, Marvin?
I tell you what, I don't have a lot of experience with it personal. Right. Now my second ex-wife, she enjoyed taking things a little farther than the limit, if you understand what I mean.
Okay, yeah.
We incorporated small black midgets into our lovemaking quite a bit. And you're familiar with Gary Coleman, I assume, from the Facts of Life or different strokes.
Yeah.
Different strokes. That's the one. Yeah.
Was that about you too?
That one, not so much about me. Although Philip Drummond was a rich man, like I'm a rich man. There it is. What might be right for you may not be right for some. See, yeah, I love that show. That little.
Oh, baby, I'm dancing.
That little black child was just a real highlight of my life. Anyhow.
Marvin, that was like a 30-year-old man.
Well, I know. We were having sex with it, you know.
Jesus Christ. Gary. What about Webster? You didn't touch a manual, did you? Manny mo.
Well, let me tell you, I met Emmanuel Lewis a couple of different times. What I didn't like about him was that he was a little bit smaller in stature than old Arnold, you know. And you see, that was his name on a television program.
Right, I recall.
We would role play a little bit in the bedroom, me and Miss Patty. Anyhow,
sounds very wrong.
No, it was so right. Have you ever had sex with a black midget?
No.
I didn't think you had.
Neither.
Yeah.
I'm open.
What about you, Gabe? No, just one of the two. Not both.
Which one?
Well, now I'm curious. Yeah, me too, Blake. I understand which one.
Baby, tell us which one, Gabe.
I had sex with a black girl once. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Was it Linda Miles?
It was not Linda Miles.
Oh, damn.
It was not. That's the exact opposite human being. Well, maybe not exact opposite, but the opposite end of the spectrum as Gary Coleman. Linda Miles, 7 foot tall black woman. Anyway.
Yeah, baby, she's tall.
Well, I'll tell you what. The prolapsation thing that, you know, the Patty, she seemed to enjoy these sexual escapades quite a bit, and it just wasn't my cup of tea. You understand? I want to I would like to come because that's what life is.
Sure.
As we will established here and elsewhere that when it comes down to it, if you ain't eating bird, you better be coming. Mm-hmm.
Correct. Yeah.
And so, what I think is probably the most important thing is to remember that you got to take care of your insides, and they're supposed to be on the inside in my estimation. Now, Patty enjoyed it because it was kind of a freak show sort of thing. She was probably likely abused quite heavily during her youth.
Okay.
I did smack the shit out of her quite a bit as well.
It's not going to help, Marvin.
Probably not, but when you piss me off, I don't know what to tell you.
You're coming to me like you're part of the solution, and then you're just like, yeah, and I kind of smack her, and it's like, well, that's sort of a step back, isn't it?
Well, I mean, hey, look, this was a long time ago, and if you want the story, I'll give it to you. If you want me to make the thing pretty for you instead, I can do that too. If you'd rather not hear the truth.
I mean, you're dead, so I guess we should cut you some slack. I guess
the world don't move to the beat of just one drum, Blake.
Well, that's what Mrs. Garrett told me about the facts of life.
It's right there in the goddamn lyrics. Mm-hmm. Son of a bitch. Anyway, Miss Garrett, she can make a hell of a turkey. Boy, oh boy, them red buns coming out of that oven. Oh boy.
Got a great set of tits on her too.
My goodness, Miss Garrett. I preferred the brunette lady personally, but Miss Garrett was a good second place for sure.
Joe?
Was that her name? If I remember, yeah, that sounds right.
I would refer to her as one of the girls, really, not a lady. Miss Garrett was really the only
not
lady.
Joe. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the other housekeeper on Different Strokes.
The
dark-haired woman that replaced Miss Garrett at some point down the road.
I was hoping we'd talk Joe because I was into her. But
look, all them girls on Facts of Life were okay, except for that fat piddling ass one that looked like some kind of farm creature.
Natalie, yeah.
Sure, yeah, that's the one. Okay, yeah. She kind of looked like her father was a pig and her mother was a hornet.
A pig? I was going to say a pornet, but I guess pornet might be better because it's porn.
Sure.
All right, back to the asshole.
Anyway, I was never a fan of it personally. She enjoyed it when I licked it, which was odd. I didn't enjoy that as much, but I'm a people pleaser. You understand? As a billionaire, there's not much else you can do other than eat exotic birds and sit around your house all day and please the people that you love as best as you possibly can. And you start getting into kinky and weird sorts of situations, especially when you have a crazy bitch like Patty around.
Mm-hmm. Licking their intestines,
Yeah, that's right.
Kind of thing.
It was more just, you stick your tongue in it. Just like that. It's not even a long. It's just a little poke, like that. You understand?
Now here's my concern, Marvin.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'm worried if I try to shove my intestines out my asshole that they're not gonna go back and work like they should. Is that not something to be concerned with?
Well, it's funny you should mention, Blake. Patty did run into some gastrointestinal issues later in her life, and I suppose that probably could have had something to do with it. And when I would ask her, because I was curious of the same thing, it's coming out of your body. It's supposed to be inside, right, and not outside. Once it's outside, then how do you unwind the clock?
Right?
How do you make that better? If there was a hole in my front and some intestines came out, then I would need a doctor to put them back.
Or George Steele.
That's a perfect example. That man, he would eat up them turnbuckles. Babs, he taught at Babs' high school.
That's what I hear.
That George Steele, he sure did. Some bit.
Gabe
tells me every single time wrestling comes on. I'm usually in the corner of the room listening, as ghosts do.
Right, yeah.
Woman repeats herself more than Gabe repeats himself on this program. Anyway.
I hear she's got wicked farts.
Wicked farts. You wouldn't believe it. If a ghost can smell them, then it ain't wicked. I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, she would. I would ask her. I'd say, "How you get them things back up in there? How do you get it back to normal?" She said, "Well, sometimes it just, after a little while, what's funny? What, I don't know why I'm still in her voice. Anyway, she says sometimes you know how like if you're in a car and you get scared and your butthole puckers, you just squeeze it. Like you
Sure.
just squeeze it and it pops back right up in.
Oh,
And
okay.
occasionally she would take a I might have one here handy.
No.
Where that thing at? Oh, maybe I do, maybe I don't. No, that's that big bag full of feathers that I've been sending out to patrons. I bought it off of Amazon. Don't tell nobody though. It's not. They didn't come off a real turkey.
Oh, it's not. They're not diseased feathers, really. They're gonna be
well,
disappointed.
well, once I get done with Patty's asshole, they might be diseased. I don't know.
Oh
There it is.
God,
Yeah,
I'm gonna have
it's
to mail out a prolapsed anus now, aren't
one
I?
of these back scratches. She would take it and she'd reach underneath
Oh
and she just whoop,
Jesus!
pop
Oh,
that some bitch right back up into a hole. And she just push a little bit. See that dull end there
yeah.
is just just enough to just right back up into your pooper. Anyway,
It's like a
uh,
hernia.
a little bit. Yep,
Poke it
that's
back in with
almost
a stick.
that's exactly right. And well, I mean, it didn't work out for her. She died of dysentery, but
Yeah, that happens.
it happens to the best of us. It really
Right on the
does.
trail.
I got to tell you, I wasn't expecting talking about prolapsing today, but I'm glad we got to bring up Gary Coleman, and we'll have to post that picture of me with him just before our third rendezvous.
Yeah, when I look at that picture, only one thing comes to mind, and I guess it
What's
is
that?
love is love.
There it is. Boy, oh boy, if there ever was a way to end a segment on this program, I don't know what is better than that. I'll see you later. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, Marvin. Always a treat when the dynastic one himself,
Yeah, we've been learning a lot about Marvin lately. I got a couple of new articles. We'll have to revisit his past at some point in the future.
They tell me he ate Hollywood one time.
Yeah, well, he's a big man. He certainly was. He withered away to just about nothing, which if that Stephen King movie taught me anything, it's because of all of his sins.
Well, you know what it is.
What's that?
I mean, look at what he was, and then that it's the yin yang, man. That's it.
Decadence and withering away.
It's coming for all of us.
It really is. There's no question.
Here, this is more accurate. It's not coming for all of us. It's always had us.
It's always been here. Yes, that's
we
correct.
are contained within it, and we are trying to break out of it. And I don't think that's possible in this life.
Probably not.
But you know who else got out of this life?
Who's that?
And looking at his 1989 Topps baseball card is reminding me why, as Mr. Gwynn's got a big old fat dip in, and that is what eventually took his life.
It's when it comes down to it, well, talk about a shame. My God. Like that's what's going to take out who could very well have been the greatest baseball player of all time.
Yeah, it was. I remember when he passed away, it was very shocking. Like I was not. It's like what, and I didn't. I mean, it might have been out there that he was sick. I don't remember, but I just remember being like, just kind of blown away by it. But yeah, as we'll find out, he was kind of sick there towards the end, and it's a fucking shame. Like that's the random chaos of life.
That's it. And so we'll dive in and we'll talk about the life of Tony Gwynn here shortly. We'll talk about Mickey Morandini as well. If you've never seen a picture of Mickey Morandini, I'm pretty sure we'll go ahead and make sure that the photo this week is of Mickey's baseball card, so that you can really just soak in the the suburban Pittsburgh of it all. Quite frankly, you just take a look at a man sometimes, and you start to understand exactly where he's from and who he is just by looking at his face. And really, that's the essence of this entire program. As we've weaved our way through several of these kissers week after week, understanding that that being able to tell all you need to tell by looking at a face is kind of the thesis of the program overall, isn't it?
You know, you got to quit bouncing back and forth between program and program. Pick one or the other because you keep throwing me off.
I'm trying my very best to keep program, Gabe's way of saying it, and program, the others.
I need you to. I need you to understand. I'm keeping meticulous score on this in my mind. Okay.
I love it. Makes me very happy.
I hope it makes you uncomfortable. I don't want you happy. You're better when you're uneasy.
Yeah, you're probably right.
We all are, though. What are you drinking tonight?
Dr. Pepper Zero Sugar. Just trying to keep the old vocal pipes from prolapsing.
You sound better than you did the other night when we went to the performance center.
Yeah, well, a lot of it had to do with the fact that I had to go to the performance center. I'm going to be real honest with you folks. Thank you for listening to that program. Thank you for giving us 3 hours to lay bare exactly why it is we came together and how it is that we came to be. It's going to take a Herculean effort on Blake's part to convince me to watch the second half of that WrestleMania and record it for you people. So you may get it at some point. I'm just not sure how soon that's going to be. If you do get it, we may save it for a day to celebrate the life and career of John Cena when he dies, maybe, so that we can watch two dead men battle each other, as if we don't do that every night for 2 hours before we go to sleep anyway. But
pray for the death ourselves.
That's correct. I think I talked a little bit about the harrowing couple of weeks that I've had around here on the last program, but if you're not a wrestling fan, so you didn't listen, here, let me fill you in. Excuse me. I am recovering from the flu. My kid is recovering from a major ear infection with high fever. Everybody in the household was sick at some point in the last 2 weeks. And then, what is today? So almost 2 weeks ago now, I wrecked my Nissan. Some asshole came across.
Doc and Daryl.
Yep, correct. Some asshole came across 3 lanes of traffic and tried to get off the expressway in front of me, and he ended up pushing me into a ditch and then drove away. And so I've also gone ahead and bought a minivan, which is just it's a real step forward in the life of Dad Krasnov, and the fact that he's now also minivanned on top of everything else. But that's what's been happening in my life here the last couple of weeks, and that's why you haven't gotten a ton of much of anything from us in the last 3 or 4 weeks. So my apologies there. We're going to make up for it in the next 2 weeks, though. We got quite a stacked docket that we laid out via text message today. Blake went ahead and pulled some rank and decided that we've got the next 5 episodes of the program all lined up for you, and it's going to be a tasty month.
Yep. That's for the patrons over there. We will. Dad Krasnov, aka Lefty Giz Play, is back on track. Jack, and he got. For those of you that don't know, the Doc and Daryl reference was the NWO running the Steiners off the road and
yes,
somewhere in backwoods Georgia in 1997, I believe.
7?
It was 6 or 7, but yes, as they recorded on their camcorder attempted murder and broadcast it on national television. But they were listening to Pac back then, so all bets were off and all eyes were on them, I guess. Yeah. You look, don't let Gabe try to tell you he's going to get out of it because we've got a 45-minute Edge and Orton Last Man Standing Performance Center match to watch. It's like a backstage brawl from SmackDown. Here Comes the Pain. They got to,
is that?
They got to get all the environment in, and it's the one where he hangs them.
Right, yeah. Like I remember at some point he like is hanging from the lighting fixture above a desk in a conference room.
Yeah, they do somebody hangs somebody by the neck or something. I don't know, but plus the Firefly Funhouse. You get the Saturday Night's Main Event thing. That was pretty neat.
Yeah,
anyway,
at least
I don't want to watch it either. It's like an hour longer than the other one too. But
oh God,
maybe we'll do some heroin and watch it.
Yeah. I'll call Billy. It's fine.
Hey, Seth.
We're getting back into the swing of things, so bear with us here. But the way this usually goes is we'll start out by heading over to the Society for American Baseball Research, SABR.org, and find ourselves a nice, robust biography of our particular superstar, and we'll start with him. And so this week we're going to start with one Tony Gwynn. We'll go ahead and put the links in the show notes so that you can follow along if you choose to. It's our friend Dan Diadona wrote this about our pal Anthony Keith Gwynn.
And we probably should mention, since it probably has, we did do the wrestling show and been a while here. The actual game is the Phillies and the Padres from the day after our independence was celebrated in the year 1994, as we continue to journey back and look at the path we could have had and did not get, and we're getting closer to the end of it because we've got about a month left, a little over a month left in the season. And after this game, though, I believe we will have the Midsummer Classic coming up, so that will be quite a treat.
July 5th, 1994, Phillies at Padres, or Padres at Phillies. So they're
Jack
perfect.
Murphy Stadium. Yep.
It's a beautiful thing, and that will be on the next episode of the program right here, the whole ball game. Let's get into Tony Gwynn and our friend Dan Diadona. Anthony Keith Gwynn. There's never been a sports icon linked to a city quite like Tony Gwynn is to San Diego. The 8-time batting champion went to college at San Diego State, spent his entire Hall of Fame career with the San Diego Padres, and then returned to his alma mater to become a collegiate baseball coach for 12 seasons. Gwynn's link to San Diego made him a larger-than-life icon, but meanwhile, his quiet personality balanced his play on the field, giving the city a homegrown legend who was ingrained in the community. Anthony Keith Gwynn, old TK, was born May 9th, 1960 in Los Angeles, the son of Charles and Vendella Gwynn. Charles was a warehouse manager.
Brother.
Vendella was a postal worker. Tony was the middle child between older brother Charles and younger brother Chris. The family moved to Long Beach when Tony was 9 years old. To avoid breaking windows with baseballs, the brothers would use a fig off of one of the trees in their yard. God, that is pathetic. I got to stop right there because I read fig. And what did I think? Did I think about the fruit that grows on a tree in California?
I would say he's probably thought about a fig Newton.
Nope.
No? Oh.
Nope. I thought of a wrestling figure.
Oh my God, you're even worse than I thought. I don't know. Maybe fig Newton's worse, but
maybe. But boy, oh boy.
Well, you think they grabbed a tree of fucking Tatanka Hasbro's or something? And did Tatanka have a Hasbro even? Surely did.
Yes, yeah. Tatanka had a Hasbro. Didn't he? I think so.
Yeah, he had.
Yeah, he had one. Anyway, the brothers would use a fig off of one of the trees in their yard or a homemade sock ball for the ball. Growing up, the Gwynns were Dodger fans, and Tony's favorite player was Willie Davis. But in the backyard, Tony and Chris would pretend to be the Cardinals and the Pirates when they played because they had all the left-handed hitters, Tony said.
Yeah, Tony was a sweet swinging lefty.
Tony attended Long Beach Poly High School in Long Beach, California, before attending San Diego State in 1977. He was a multi-sport star in high school and joined the Aztecs as a point guard on the basketball team, where he soon became a star. He was an all-conference player twice in the Western Athletic Conference and is still the only WAC athlete in history to earn all-conference honors in multiple sports. He holds the school record for assists in a game, a season, and a career. Gwynn didn't play baseball until his sophomore year, and he had an immediate impact. He led the team in hitting twice and was a two-time All-American in 3 seasons. His junior season, Gwynn batted .423 with 6 home runs and 29 RBI. As a senior, Gwynn batted .416 with 11 home runs and 62 RBIs. Gwynn learned to balance both sports, even when he had to switch gears quickly. One of Gwynn's legendary feats came during his final season at San Diego State. On Saturday, March 7th, 1981, he concluded the basketball season with a 16-point, 16-assist performance at home against New Mexico. 2 days later, he was on the baseball field for a doubleheader against the University of Southern California, and in that twin bill, he went 3 for 7 with a double, 3 runs scored, 5 RBI, and a stolen base. He recorded game-winning RBIs in both contests.
Not too bad for an old 2-sport star, is it, old Gabe?
Mr. Gwynn.
How you doing there, pal?
It's nice to have you here.
Hey, it's great to be here. Thanks. Hey, are you married, Gabe?
Yes, I am.
Well, that's great, pal. I am too. I think you're going to talk about that a little bit later, but let's talk about you right now. I got a question for you, Gabe.
Oh, sure.
Is my forwardness is it off-putting to you? Are you okay? I'm just a friendly guy.
I mean, sure, yeah, no, yeah, you're very friendly. I will say that I'm a little shaken by. I guess I didn't expect you to sound the way that you sound.
It's just me. It's TK19, buddy. Hey.
TK19. What's the 19 for?
Well, it's my number, pal. I'm number 19.
Okay, got it.
You know, you got it. All right.
Sure.
That's my model number. All right. No, next time I'm in town, you and me, we're going to get a nice white meat turkey sandwich, open face with a cool 1.5 Evian on ice. We're going to split that one, pal. But back to your wife. Could you get me a picture? Get me a picture of her and email that to podfather69 at angelfire.com. And here's the thing, pal. I don't even need to see her face. Just making a shot of her feet. Get back to my story, buddy. Send that email first, though. Well, you're on your computer. You can do it at the same time. I am a bit of a 2-sport athlete. You could do the same thing, too.
Gwynn's success in both sports attracted plenty of interest from professional scouts in Major League Baseball and the National Basketball Association. In 1981, the San Diego Padres drafted him in the 3rd round, and the San Diego Clippers of the NBA in the 10th round. Both franchises looking to capitalize on having a homegrown star. Tony Gwynn met his wife Alicia in elementary school. The two dated in high school and attended San...
Hello, Mr. Tony. It is me, professional truck driver, Carl Malone. Did you say that you met your wife in elementary school? I was just driving my truck by, and I happened to hear that, and I thought I would stop and see, hey, what's going on? I'm just delivering the mail in my truck. It's my old friend Gabe. Him and Mr. Dally Page. They working together now. Have you told the people about Mr. Dally Page, Gabe?
Yeah, I have actually. The clip has not surfaced quite yet, but we've teased it a few times, and I think we're going to use our good friends over at the Lapsed Fan, because they have a larger megaphone to kind of publicize.
Hey, baby.
Dallas and my working together. Jimmy, what's up?
You said megaphone, baby. I got self-conscious. And my teeth
no,
looking okay?
Your teeth look amazing as always, Jim.
You said, okay, thank you, baby. I'm going to get out of here then. Let me know if you need my megaphone.
Yeah, but we'll go wide with that information here in the next couple of weeks for sure.
I'll just drive my truck away then. Get back to the elementary school, y'all.
The couple got married right after the draft, and Tony decided to sign with the Padres. He immediately reported to Walla Walla of the Northwest League. In rookie ball, he batted .331 to earn league MVP honors before being called up to Double-A. He spent the final 3 weeks of the season at Double-A Amarillo, where he hit .462 over 23 games. He began the 1982 season with the Triple-A Hawaii Islanders of the Pacific Coast League. He was hitting .328 in 93 games there when he got the call to come play with the big boys.
I got to tell you, Gabe, there's no better place to play baseball than out there in Hawaii. Shaka bra, brah.
Did you know Sid Fernandez?
Sid's a great guy. Sid could catch a fish with his bare hands. And what we'd do, we'd take that fish, we'd fry it up, and we'd put it on a smooth turkey sandwich. A little bit of white mayo on that fish and turkey is good. You get a 1.5 cool Evian. Alpha Sika, all the boys would come by. We'd have a big old Hawaiian luau. Me, Sid, and the bloodline. Little Roman running around with his little tiny jelly bean wiener. Well. It's Ron fucking Reagan.
Gwynn made his major league debut July 19th, 1982 against the Philadelphia Phillies. He went 2 for 4 with 1 RBI and went on to appear in 53 more games in 82 after his July call-up. He had 209 plate appearances and batted .289 on the season. Astonishingly, this rookie year would be the only year of his career that he didn't bat .300. Gwynn was also a part-time player in 1983, hitting .309 in 86 games. But Gwynn's fortunes and those of his team changed when Gwynn became a full-time player. He made his first of his 15 All-Star games in 1984 and would also go on to win the first of his 8 batting titles with a .351 batting average. He also led the National League in hits with 213. He began to showcase his speed once reaching base, stealing 33 bases. But more importantly, with Gwynn leading the team's surge, the San Diego Padres made the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. And their season wasn't over yet. The Padres faced the Chicago Cubs in the NLCS in 1984, and Gwynn continued to hit. He batted .368, scoring 6 runs and driving in 3 as the Padres erased a 2-0 deficit to win the final 3 games of the 5-game series, yet another chapter in the Cubs' seemingly endless, futile quest for a championship. Unfortunately for the Friars, despite their thrilling victory over the Cubs and their first World Series appearance, they had to play the American League monster Detroit Tigers. The Padres were no match for them. Detroit, which had opened the year 35-5 and cruised to the pennant, easily dispatched the upstart Padres in 5 games. The series featured the first of Kirk Gibson's pair of famous World Series home runs, clinching the final game win with a blast off of Hall of Fame closer and noted Donald Trump supporter Goose Gossage, who didn't want to walk Gibson. Gwynn batted .263 in the series with 5 hits and 1 run scored.
Yeah, Goose was a real cocksucker, Gabe. That's you can take that to the motherfucking bank, pal.
Just so happened to have the 1984 World Series program here.
I remember one time in the locker room, I caught Goose. Goose was taking a shit with the door open, and he was eating a ham sandwich. It reminded me of the Secretary of Border Czar, or whatever the fuck his name is, Tom Homan. Real asswipe. And yeah, I can see shit from the afterlife too. You know, you got a lot of dead guys around here.
Yeah, we do have a lot of dead guys around here. Goose and Tom Homan seem like two peas in a podcast, as it were.
Oh, that's good shit, pal. We got Goose, we got me and my turkey, and we got Marvin and his bird. It's a real avian festival around here. Better than an Aryan festival, though.
There's no doubt about that. I'd rather have the avian flu than the Aryan flu.
Yeah, about probably 25% of the country is infected with that these days.
True words never spoken. The Padres right fielder followed up his stellar 1984 season with another strong one in 1985. Gwynn batted .317 with 197 hits and 90 runs scored. It was just a taste of what the rest of the 80s would look like. Gwynn batted .329 with a league-leading 211 hits and 107 runs in 86, proving he was an all-around star by winning his first of 5 Gold Glove awards as the best fielder at his position. He then soared to a .370 mark to win his second batting title in 1987, also leading the league with 218 hits, scoring 119 runs, and stealing a career-high 56 bases. It was the first of 3 consecutive batting titles. In 1988, he won with a .313 average, earning his 1,000th career hit against Nolan Ryan on April 22nd in Houston, then followed with a .336 mark in 1989, also leading the NL with 203 hits.
Always found Tony to be a real straight shooter. Bunghole, it was just fine.
Gwynn was rapidly becoming one of the greatest hitters in the... Wait a second. You know what, Nolan, as long as you're here,
yes, sir,
and as long as we're on the topic, do
you have...
Yeah, do you have an opinion on a prolapsed bunghole? Have you ever seen one? Have you ever had the chance to sniff at a rose?
Son, do you know how the Catholics feel about abortions?
I'm familiar. They're very against abortions in the Catholic Church.
You understand my stance on the bunghole. It must be as tight as possible at all times, right? For maximum efficiency and effectiveness.
That makes perfect sense to me, yes.
I don't understand. It angers me. And it also makes me hard at the same time, and I don't know why. I'm confused now, and
I'd imagine, yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm going to come or cry, but my bunghole is tight. I know that. I don't know. I don't like you anymore, and I'm going to leave. Okay.
All right. Thanks, Nolan.
I might come back some other time when I figure this shit out.
See, yeah. This is what I'm going to task Nolan with thinking about is I understand the confusion, coming, crying. Mm-hmm. It's all kind of a spectrum, right?
Right.
One end or the other. But if your bunghole always needs to be tight, what's keeping your heart and your private areas from being excited about a loose woman? Both figuratively and literally, right?
The only assumption I can make is that because what he believes is that he can only be made hard by a tight bunghole on a woman, and seeing this rose causing some hardness in his cock has caused some confusion in his mind, and now he's a mess.
Yeah. Well,
so he's going to have to figure it out. It's the yin and the yang of Nolan Ryan.
More to come. Gwynn was rapidly becoming one of the greatest hitters in the history of baseball. While talent played a big role in his success, Gwynn put in the work to master his craft.
I'm a natural hitter, but I have to work hard to keep it.
He did so with countless hours in the batting cages and on the tee, sharpening his hand-eye coordination. But what set Gwynn apart was the way he studied hitting. He became one of the first players to accumulate and watch video of himself, and of opposing pitchers during games. He was known to take multiple VCRs on road trips, taping the game on one and taping his at-bats on the other, then studying them in his hotel room afterwards.
I'd also bring a large briefcase of my Coliseum video collection, and that is the real reason I carried so many VCRs. I like to have at least 3 Coliseum videos going at all times in the hotel room, Gabe.
Well, I've got to ask you then, Tony. I mean, we're a baseball community here on the whole ball game, but that pales in comparison to our professional wrestling fandom. So Blake and I appreciate it very much to get a better understanding of who your favorites were growing up, and both and really at this time while you were on the road with the Padres.
Right. Well, I think first off, what I should probably do is correct you and remind you that Blake's baseball fandom is pretty equal to his wrestling. You're the only real super pervert here. And secondly, what was that question again? I wanted to get that out there first. Who's my favorites? Is that what you want to know? Yeah. So, back in this time.
From one super pervert to the other.
Right. There's a lot of spirits in here, I guess. You're looking at 89. I'm a big fan of Hercules and Coco Beware at this time. Really loving what Coco's doing. It's great shit, man. The pile driver, it's hitting. He's about to get that new that gospel song. That's pretty cool. Brainbusters. They're in the tag ranks. I'm loving that. This is right around the time No Holds Barred comes out. Did you see that movie, Gabe?
I did see No Holds Barred. Were you a big Hulk Hogan fan?
Nope, not at all. Huge racist.
Oh, okay. Got it. Yep.
Like Will Clark.
So what was the point of bringing up No Holds Barred then? What did you enjoy the film? Is that
Zeus and I mutually masturbated once.
Got it. Okay. So when you say mutually masturbated, do you mean like you touched him and he touched you, or did you just masturbate in the same room?
No, you don't touch each other. That's not mutual masturbation. Everybody knows that.
Got it. Okay. Just wanted to put that, there's an ongoing conversation about it here on the program, and I wanted to get your take. So we'll go ahead and chalk that one up into the left-hand side.
Like lefty gunplay?
I don't know what that means.
He's Kendrick Lamar friend. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
I hear Blake's trying to get you into the scene, I don't know. I'm an old crooner myself.
Yeah, I got it. Gwynn was rapidly... Nope, we already read that one. Gwynn was also perfected the art of hitting the ball the other way, shooting many of his hits between the third baseman and shortstop, something most left-handed hitters don't regularly do.
One of the reasons I get so many hits that way, it's because it's hard to read the ball off my bat. My hands come through the zone first, and the barrel trails, and it kind of hides the ball from the fielder until I've already hit it. They don't see the ball hit the bat. They just see the ball off the bat. By the time they react, they can't get to it.
After 3 batting titles in a row, Gwynn almost amazingly didn't win another for 4 years. He still managed to average .324 with an OPS 124 from 1990 to 1993, the year he collected his 2000th career hit the year he collected his 2000th career hit at home off of Colorado's Bruce Ruffin on August 6th. Then came 1994.
It always does, doesn't it?
Doesn't it? The more we go through this, the more we go through the same exercise week after week after week, I am just further and further convinced that your hypothesis about this being the nexus of the universe, it just it rings more true every time we get to this point in these biographies. When amidst Gwynn's best season yet, a labor strike by the Major League Baseball Players Union heartbreakingly ended the season prematurely. Gwynn had been flirting.
Heartbreak.
There it is. Gwynn had been flirting with the 400 mark for much of the season and would have been the first player since Ted Williams before the U.S. entered World War II to bat 400 had he maintained his torrid pace. When the strike occurred, he was hitting .394 with a league-leading 165 hits in 110 games. Gwynn, of course, was disappointed.
When you go through it in a strike year and they finally pull the plug on the season, you get kicked to the curb like everybody else. I'd be lying if I didn't say I wanted to smoke crack at I wanted crack at 400. Mr. Tony.
When after a rocky spring between players and owners, big league baseball finally resumed in a slightly truncated 1995 season, Gwynn resumed his batting title monopoly for the next 4 consecutive seasons. He followed up his .394 in 1994 with a similarly potent marks of .368, .353, and .372 in 1997, along with a career-high 119 RBI and 220 hits. This last also leading the NL. In 1996, the Padres returned to the playoffs, but lost in the NLDS to the St. Louis Cardinals in 3 games. Gwynn had a decent series, 308, 385, 692, but it wasn't the Padres' year. That would come in 1998. Even though for the first time he betrayed his age, the conventional performance measurements, 321, 364, 501 with an OPS of 133 were solid, but his WAR, because that's what matters these days, slipped to 1.5 from 4.3 the previous year. It was still one of the most special seasons for Gwynn. He batted a .321, 9th highest in the NL, and led the Padres to the National League West Division title and the spot for the franchise in the playoffs for the 3rd time. San Diego defeated Houston in 4 games in the NLDS. Gwynn sparked the Padres scoring the first run of the series after a hit, then knocked off the Atlanta Braves in 6 games to win the pennant and give Gwynn, who batted .200 in the Houston series and .231 against the Braves, but had 2 hits in the pennant-clinching game, and the Padres a second chance at a World Series title. But again, the Padres faced a juggernaut. The 1998 New York baseball Yankees, one of the greatest baseball teams ever, were in the midst of a 13-year stretch of straight playoff appearances that included 4 World Series championships and had no problem sweeping the Padres in the series. Despite winning in 4 games, the Yankees did have a problem getting Gwynn out. The crafty veteran batted .500 for the series with 8 hits in 16 at-bats. He hit the only postseason home run of his career, drove in 3 runs, and scored twice. For many fans who missed Gwynn's first fall classic 14 years before, 1998 showcased the incredible abilities of a mostly unsung future Hall of Famer at Yankee Stadium and in front of record television audiences. Any memories of the 1998 World Series, Tony?
I got a blowjob from a prostitute out in the bullpen of Yankee Stadium because Mickey Mantle told me to.
Well, that sounds interesting. And can I ask? Because this is a curiosity for me.
He told me in '86.
Say again?
He told me in '86.
Yeah, no. Fine, that's fine. What I'm curious about is because of some of the details that have come up in our conversations. You know, you've talked about your favorite sandwiches, things like that.
Turkey.
As a man, I would appreciate knowing your taste in prostitutes. So what did the prostitute look like? What what was their sex? What was their hair color, body type, that sort of thing? Can you get into some details about the prostitute?
She was a black midget.
Gwynn's World Series finale was also the last real goodbye for him on the national stage. He would never play a full season again, playing 111 games in 1999, the season in which he passed the 3,000 career hit plateau. He got that seminal hit on August 6, 1999 at Montreal, a first-inning single to right center off Dan Smith. First base umpire Kerwin Danley had been one of Gwynn's college teammates, which added to the special moment. Only a single player achieved 3,000 or more hits and fewer at-bats than Gwynn. Wade Boggs and just one did it in fewer games, Roberto Clemente. It should be noted that Boggs can make the same claim. Both he and Gwynn reached 3,000 in the same number of games, 2,440, which is really astonishing when you stop to think about it.
Yeah, those two were. You talk about the yin and the yang, man. That's Black Thunder and White Lightning there. Those guys were the same fucking guy. Like, they played different positions, but man, I remember like even being as a kid and feeling and like that. It's just like they were. I'm sure somebody could break it down, but like, fuck, those guys were really the same type of hitter, like almost to a T, and to be that good, like they were the best, and it wasn't.
Well, the idea of hitting 3,000 hits, having 3,000 hits in 2,440 games, like
Mm-hmm.
it's
a lot of games with more than one hit,
and not just that, but like more than 0 hits.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
true.
Like the amount of times that you got a blank, it's got to be really fucking low. The amount of times where you didn't have a hit in a game, which is just, reaching base is one thing, but like, yeah, it's pretty incredible.
I thought you were going to call Kerwin Danley Kerwin Silfies too.
I thought about it. I really did.
I thought that's what that pause might have been.
As his career wound down, Gwynn played just 36 games in 2000 and 71 the following season because of several injuries. He and fellow legend Cal Ripken Jr., who would both be retiring at the end of the season, were honored at the 2001 All-Star Game. Both had played their entire careers with one team, and both would be first ballot Hall of Famers 5 years later. The Hall of Fame was all but automatic for a 15-time All-Star who was an NL starter in the Summer Classic, a record 11 times, an 8-time batting champion, tying the NL record with Honus fucking Wagner,
the Dutchman,
and finished his career with a stunning slash line of 338, 388, 458, and an OPS of 132. In 2007, he was easily elected to the Hall of Fame on his first try with 97.6% of the vote by the Baseball Writers Association dipshits. Gwynn's was the 8th highest voting percentage in Hall of Fame history. But by God, Ichiro gets 100%. Don't get me wrong. Very good player, but not Tony Gwynn.
It's just our standards have lowered. That's it.
Yeah. The Hall of Fame was just the latest in a growing collection Gwynn was accumulating. In 1995, he was presented the Branch Rickey Award, given to the top comedian. You know what? Hold on a second. What the fuck are you doing? Are you chewing on your fingernails?
Me?
Yeah.
I guess I did, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Is that all right?
No. Well, I'll stop down and I'll say why that bothered me as much as it did. The other night, they do these sort of like outings at the high school in this other little town for the preschool kids, and Jamie signed up Stella because she's been doing like swim classes, and at the high school they have a pool and they have like a recreation pool for little kids, and they can it's whatever, it's fun. They get 2 hours and they can go swimming. So we go over there. I sent you a picture of this fucking predator.
Oh yeah, I remember
in
this
the room.
Yeah,
in the room with us, and the whole time we were in the room, he was chewing on the sides of his fingers, had his fingers in his mouth. He was in the pool with his baby and his ugly lesbian-looking wife, but again, his hands wouldn't stop chewing on the sides of his thumbs, and he had his fingers in his mouth like this, and he's like looking around and he's chewing and like a fucking rat chewing on his own fucking hands. And I'm in this place, right, where I'm in this room full of, I would say there's probably 30 kids that are anywhere from 2 to 5 years old, and all of their parents are there. And so like, because of our shit, I'm just looking at people just like, there's the fucking pervert. Where's he at? And it happened to be this guy in that room. Nobody else fit the mold, but this guy, his beady fucking. You know what he looked like? He looked like a fat Pete Buttigieg.
Oh God, that's not a good look.
Yeah, fat Pete Buttigieg with like, and just like a fucking rat.
You know what this is, right?
And then out of the corner of my eye, I'm reading this, and I see you going after like a hangnail, right? Like most of us do.
Yeah, I got like a little thing coming off.
And you don't normally do that shit. So I was just like, what's going on? And then it triggered me, and I had to stop reading because I was so upset.
This is the universe punishing you for the fingernail gig with my boss and Rick. You realize that, right? You're getting it served back to you.
Let me see. I think I got the fingernail box over here too.
Yeah.
I sure do. Yeah, there you go.
We know how Rick likes to mix those in, and I'm still not sure. Does he put them in his penis? Is that what happens?
I mean, it could very well be.
In the hole?
There's some glue there. Fuck. There you go.
Yeah. Look at that.
That's one of them. We sent one of these to old Donnie, and his wife opened the envelope and found that Rick keeps Donnie's picture in his pocket while he sleeps.
Like Luther Lindsay. He's the only man that made me tap, so I keep a picture of him in my wallet. Nothing gay about that, Stu.
Not even a little bit.
I mean, fuck. Well, I believe.
I don't know that he's inserting. But I could be wrong.
I believe the quote was, "Why do these people know where we live?" Something to that effect.
One of these letters is perverted. Keep talking about having your picture in his pocket while he sleeps.
The other one's about a bird. Something from a pervert and something from a man about a bird.
Yes, correct. Yeah, there's feathers. Why are there feathers? Why do these people have our address?
Yeah. Well, at least
it's wonderful.
I mean, I don't think
wait until he gets the letter from Bob.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. No, it's a problem. I don't know that you're allowed to mail, organic things and that sort of thing. But if you do end up getting a box full of rotten turnips, just let her know what it's for.
Those are going to be good luck.
She's got to be the sacrifice.
Mm-hmm. That'd be good luck. Yeah. I don't think I had an angry spouse with my. I did send some of Terry's mustache shavings that were collected by Jimmy.
Sure.
And also some instructions how to use them for the sacrifice. But lots of chemicals out there.
The Hall of Fame was just the latest in a growing collection Gwynn was accumulating. In 1995, he was presented the Branch Rickey Award, given to the top community activist in MLB, as well as the inaugural Chairman's Award, given to the San Diego Padre who best exemplifies community spirit. He was inducted into the World Sports Humanitarian Hall of Fame in Boise, Idaho in 1999. Right after his retirement from Major League Baseball, Gwynn became the head baseball coach in his alma mater, joining San Diego State in September of 2001, officially taking over the program for the 2002 season. He was named the Mountain West Conference Coach of the Year in his second season after leading the Aztecs to the league's regular season title in 2004. In 2009, Gwynn led the Aztecs to a 43-21 record and its first trip to the NCAA regionals since 1991. In 2013, San Diego State returned to the NCAA regionals. Gwynn's coaching record was an even 363-363, and he developed future major leaguers like Steven Strasburg and Justin Masterson. Gwynn continued his devotion to community service in his hometown area after retirement from baseball. With his wife, Alicia, he established the Tony Gwynn Foundation to help fund many worthy organizations supporting children in need, such as the Casa de Amparo, Neighborhood House, YMCA, and the Police Athletic League. For 14 years, he hosted the annual Tony Gwynn Celebrity Golf Classic to raise money for the foundation. Tony and Alicia had 2 children, Tony Gwynn Jr., who also played at San Diego State, then made it to the majors, and Anisha Nicole, who is a recording artist. Tony's brother Chris was also an All-American at San Diego State, playing for the 1984 U.S. Olympic team before joining his brother in the big leagues. It was while he was coaching at San Diego State that health problems began cropping up for Gwynn, who at one point weighed more than 300 pounds.
This is about the time I start to die, Gabe.
I understand. Yeah, we're getting to that point in the biography here. He had a tumor in his neck removed for the 3rd time in 12 years in 2000. But the biggest issue stemmed from his career-long use of chewing tobacco. He was finally able to quit, but it was extremely difficult and too late. The addiction took a toll on him as much as the effects.
I miss it every day, every goddamn day. I screwed up. I made my mistakes. I'm living with them. I was pretty messed up and I didn't even know it. On chewing tobacco.
After having 2 benign tumors removed, the 3rd one turned out to be cancerous.
I just thought it was going to come back benign. And when it didn't, your life kind of stops that day when he tells you that he found some cancer. I guess I wasn't surprised, but I was still stunned. Well, hey,
Gwynn underwent radiation and chemotherapy for months for salivary gland cancer, and after years of treatment, he succumbed to the disease on June 16, 2014, at age 54. Today, an outsized statue of Gwynn, the San Diego legend, overlooks right field at Petco Park in the city. Gwynn's legacy was honored in 2 different ways at the 2016 All-Star Game, which was played there. The first happened the day before the game when Chicago White Sox pitcher Chris Sale was selected the American League starter. Sale talked about his own history with chewing tobacco and the impact Tony Gwynn's death had on him during a news conference. He actually made a very big impact in my life. I chewed tobacco from 2007 until the day he passed away. I remember seeing that and just being so shocked. He was a larger-than-life person. He was an inspiration to the game for many, many people for a lot of different reasons, but I quit that day. Sale continued, and I haven't touched it since. In a sense, I owe him a huge thank you for not only myself, but for my family, and hopefully I can maybe sway somebody in the right direction as well, like he did for me. The other came just before the All-Star Game when Major League Baseball announced that National League batting crown would be named after Gwynn. His wife, Alicia, and his children were on hand to accept the honor. Tony's considered one of the greatest histories in the history of National League, and there's no better place to honor him than in San Diego. I'm sorry, hold on one second.
Yeah. There you go. Clear your throat. Got that AIDS.
Tony is one of the greatest hitters in the history of National League, and there's no better place to honor him in San Diego,
MLB Commissioner Rob Manfred said in a news conference following the presentation. The entire crowd at Petco Park erupted into "Tony, Tony" chants that moved many, including members of the Gwynn family, to tears. Few players have ever received that sort of reaction, ovation, and emotion after their death, but few players have ever ingrained themselves so much into a community, a team, and a sport like Tony Gwynn.
Podfather69 at angelfire.com. Send me those pictures of your bitches.
You should have them.
I'm out.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Tony Gwynn on the whole ball game.
TK 19. He also had a TK Junior 19. Well, I guess.
Yeah, I guess he did.
I'm not sure if he was 19 as well. I'm trying to remember what. Yeah, I think Tony Jr. was 19.
Well, certainly at some point he was.
Yes, he was, wasn't he? So glad you're back.
Yeah, that's good. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
So that's Tony Gwynn on the whole ball game. We'll transition to Mickey Morandini, but before we do, there's some pieces of Mickey Morandini out there that I found, and I wanted to share with the audience before we got too deep into it.
Like which ones? Like an arm and a leg, or a hand,
yeah.
or what?
Well,
his cock,
a goatee, certainly. No, there are things that Mickey is known for in baseball, and one of them is of course he's one of only 15 players in the history of baseball to get an unassisted triple play.
That's true. Yeah. There's a lot of the triple play comes up in the Mickey search.
And so I pulled the audio from the game that day. The announcers are quite confused because they're not sure if it became a triple play or what happened. But just to set the stage here, there's 0 outs. There's runners at I believe the bases are loaded here. That would make sense. No. Just at first and second. There's runners at first and second. The Phillies are playing the Pirates. Andy Van Slyke is on second.
Mm-hmm.
Barry Bonds is on first.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's an at bat.
There they go. There it is. One. There it is. There's two. Run to first.
See?
Did he get it?
Oh, okay.
He got it.
That's right. Tagged him. How about that?
All right. Just like you described, Whitey. And unassisted, right?
That's the risk of it. Unassisted triple play. And I think there was a guy by the name of Juan Gans or something like that who did that years ago.
Let's see. Some guy in a Puerto Rican.
Runner's taken off. Yeah, runner's going. A bullet. Good play. I mean, that.
Dallas is drunk.
2 outs made there at second.
So Mickey gets him scrambling for the record books.
Yeah, so basically what happens, and by the way, I did a little quick research on unassisted triple plays. Every single unassisted triple play in the history of baseball, Major League Baseball, exactly the same play.
Yeah, it kind of has to be.
Yeah, it's a line drive, a caught, obviously, a tag the bag at second, and tag the runner that's coming from first.
Yeah.
And that's what happened there, and
you're gonna need the catch, and then you're gonna need 2 base running. I wouldn't call them gaps, but because they could have been doing the right thing. It just happened to have been hit right at the guy. But yep.
And I mean, Barry was already at second by the time he realized even that the ball was caught. He was young enough that he was fast enough that he was already there, and it was very, very quick. Boom, 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 and it was over with. What I happen to find here is exactly what gave me everything I needed as a peek into Mickey's psyche and Mickey's reality. Currently, Mickey is coaching in the farm system for the Phillies, but also he is a Phillies ambassador, which basically means he's at a bunch of home games, signing autographs for season ticket holders and doing that sort of thing. I happen to find Mickey is prolific on Cameo, and the following is a cameo that Mickey recorded for a 5-year-old who had his own unassisted triple play during his Little League game. This is a cameo from Mickey Morandini to Chase, and I want you to listen very carefully as it wears on. As Mickey clearly needs a drink of water.
Okay.
Hey, Chase, this is Mickey Morandini with the Philadelphia Phillies. Now, I understand you're a huge Phillies fan, and from what I understand, you're only 5 years old. So I got this great little message from Uncle Rich telling me all about your baseball, and it's pretty impressive. Now, I understand we have something in common. We both turned unassisted triple play. So first off, I want to congratulate you. I know that's not an easy play to pull off. I did it back in 1992. And I don't know if you watched the Pirates play it all back then, but the last guy he touched for the third out was a guy by the name of Barry Bonds, who was one of the all-time greatest players ever to play this game. So congratulations on that unassisted triple play. One of these days I'd like to meet you and talk to you a little bit about it and see how you did it. See if you did it just like I did at second base. But we were a really good team back then. And went to the playoffs. We beat the Atlanta Braves, who were 10 times better than us, and we beat them. We beat pitchers like Greg Maddux and John Smoltz and Tom Glavine. They're on the Hall of Fame, and we put a beat down on them. So I'm sure your parents and your Uncle Rich remember that. So ask them about that as well. But I know you're a big baseball player, and if I have any advice for you, it's one, have fun. Go out there and enjoy the ball game. And secondly, you got to work on your game. You got to work on your game to get better. So my advice to you is take some time off from the computer, maybe a phone. If you have a phone, you probably don't have a phone yet, but video games. Take a little break from all that stuff. Get outside, pick up a baseball, throw a tennis ball against the wall, or kick a soccer ball, or shoot a basketball, or throw a football, or if you have someone to go outside and play with, have someone hit you some ground balls or some fly balls, or maybe you can pitch to somebody. But get outside, get a ball in your hand, and that's kind of how I did it when I was young. I used to throw a ball against the wall all the time, and I forced myself to catch 50 balls in a row. 50 ground balls. I'd throw a tennis ball off a brick wall, and I'd force myself until I caught 50 balls in a row, and then I could stop. So maybe play a little game with it too. So keep working hard. I'd love to know how you're progressing in your baseball career. Now, I'm the Phillies team ambassador, and you probably don't want to know what an ambassador is, but I just get to go to a lot of the Phillies games, mingle with fans and sponsors and season ticket holders. I get to hang out and sign some autographs and take photos. So, Chase, if you're ever at a Phillies game and we cross paths, I want to meet you, all right? Sign some autographs for you, take a photo with you, and then we can talk some baseball and talk unassisted triple play, because us two, we know how to do it. So have fun playing ball, my friend. Take care, be safe, and most importantly, go Phillies. All right, Chase, we'll see you.
All right, Chase, we'll see you. I'll tell you, it lights me up inside to hear myself talking to that 5-year-old boy and making things, making sure that he's got his head on straight and, focusing on the right things all through his career and all through his life. And, making sure that, as a 5-year-old, he knows exactly who the player was that I tagged out that day. That day, I don't know if you're aware or not, Blake, but I one of only 15 players in the history of Major League Baseball to perform an unassisted triple play. That was me. Very few other people have ever done it. I don't know if you're aware of that, but I think it's there's some guy named Wamsgans at some point in the past, if I recall correctly.
Something like that.
After me, there's only been 6 more in the history of baseball, and
wow.
They don't have a Saber biography lined up of me yet, because
no, not
they
yet.
just they I don't know if I don't know.
Need a drink?
I'm a little.
You're breathless.
It's a little upsetting, if I'm being honest with you. I spent all those days outside throwing tennis ball at the garage door.
You and me both, brother.
And Troy Tulowitzki, he's got a Saber article, but and so does Rafael Furcal and John Valentine. Even Randy Velarde's got one, but
they're all better than you.
Not old Mickey. Mickey still waiting on.
Yeah.
Even though none of these guys got an unassisted triple play against
no.
Barry Bonds.
Look.
Barry Bonds is
he was on base. Listen, Mickey, take a breath. Okay? Look, you're putting a lot of stock in this one play. And a baseball career is a little more. And please don't breathe into the microphone like that. That's just unsettling. Jesus. Like all those guys you had, they're more accomplished players than you, Mickey. You had one really great year. I'll give you that.
Well, I mean, look, at the end of the day, I think what everybody needs to remember is that go Phillies, and
sure, yeah.
And I'm one of only 15 players to ever perform an unassisted triple play on the baseball field.
Yep.
I think a lot of people forget that, if I'm here to do anything else, it's to meet sponsors and to say hello to fans and try to keep kids off drugs, more importantly than anything else.
Sure.
Me and Dave Clark. I don't know if you remember this one or not, but
getting to the major leagues is a dream come true.
It takes a lot of hard work to get to the top.
I'm Dave Clark.
And I'm Mickey Morandini. We're rivals on the field.
But when it comes to underage drinking, we're on the same team. If you're under 21, stay in the game.
Don't let alcohol steal your dream. Success comes when you play by the rules.
If you're under 21, play it smart. Leave alcohol out. That way, everybody wins.
Yeah, everybody wins when you don't drink. So, Chase, I want you to remember, keep the beer off your lips till you're at least 21, pal, because it's not the way to go. Ask Tony. You just talked about Tony. He succumbed to the drink, or I guess that was tobacco, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
You understand. You know where I'm coming from. It's the same, right?
Well, not really, but that's ironic because you look like a man who was born with fetal alcohol syndrome as I'm staring at your 1988 Topps USA card. And you also, for me personally, and this is very unsettling, you look like Mr. Livingston. This is what he looked like about the same time, yet he was like a 14-year-old boy, but he looked almost exactly like this. Is this?
Well, look, I got to tell you, Blake, I mean, you're saying things that are, beyond my understanding.
Yeah.
All I really know
is a diddler. He tried to
is at the end of the day, and let's not. I don't want to talk about such things. I don't need that kind of poison.
Oh, okay.
Kind of jumping into my brain and into my heart and into my soul, and that energy then comes out of me, and nobody wants that at this point in life. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, let me take this out for you and show you. This is about a good 6 inches. Yeah.
Well,
what do you think about that? About a good 6 inches? What do you think?
The only way I can properly...
I was about 6 inches from second base the day that I performed that unassisted triple play. Barry Bonds was about 6 inches away from me too.
It's not like you struck him out, okay? You caught a fucking ball.
I tagged him. It was Barry Bonds.
That's great.
That's correct. I'm the only one on that list that included Barry Bonds as one of the three outs I got at the same time, within just about a half a second of each other.
Yeah, you only need 2 hands and a foot to count them all.
That's right. That's all you need. But you didn't do it. I did.
Right. Yep. A lot of that shit I haven't done.
Make that very clear.
Right. I also don't look like a pedophile, and you do. There's that. So I'd like to make that clear. But I was going to tell you the only way I could properly judge the inches is I need to have a washcloth slowly float away over the water to slowly expose the penis.
Wait. I don't know. I don't. You started talking dirty here, and I'm gonna have to stop you right there because I'm not sure what you're talking about now. And you're talking about 14-year-old kids, and boy, I don't want nothing to do with none of that. Because
Me neither. I was 9.
well, look, hey, at the end of the day, you have to make your own decisions as a 9-year-old, just like
Sure,
Chase
yeah.
has to make his decisions as a
Oh God, no! Let's
5-year-old,
not bring Chase into
and
any of this, please.
and then old Livingston there. You say
Yeah.
we looked a lot alike. He was 14. Clearly he was he had some kind of
I don't like what you're
I
doing
don't
with
know,
your hands.
some kind of mentality
it's
where
it's everything that's wrong with all of this is your hands. It's you. It's so fucking like people. You gotta see. He's chewing on his fingernail, but like every every third word there's a big exasperated hand explosion of some sort, and what you see is I understand, and it explodes. You see,
well, I learned it in my time with the Cubs.
yeah.
Steve Stone, he is a big hand talker guy, and I hung around with Stoney quite a bit, and
God.
there's not a lot I can. Whew, boy, oh
I'm
boy.
gonna read your story, okay?
Well, I suppose if that's what we're gonna do here, then that's what we're gonna do.
You didn't have a Saber bio, like you mentioned. So, some dude named Centerfield Maz at centerfieldmaz.com wrote a little bio on you. Uh, he classified you. I'm not sure if you're a former player or if you're a former Italian, but you are a former Italian American player, Mickey Morandini.
I'm still Italian American, so that's why I talk with my hands. I
Sure,
guess
yeah.
it's a very Italian thing to do. Yeah, so I'm a former player. I think he just did the from a oh gosh, what's the word I'm
No,
looking
yeah,
for?
you're good. I don't need you to explain it.
From the standpoint of grammatically, he's just a little off. That's all.
Right, yeah.
Uh,
Well,
that'll be fine. A lot of bright colors on this webpage, though. It makes my eyes kind of turn a little burny.
yeah, this has a very Podfather69 at angelfire.com vibe to it.
It's interesting. Maybe this could very well be Tony's website. I'm, Tony was not on the Pirates at any point, or else, that would have been it would have been good if it had been Tony and Barry on the bases. Maybe then I would have had my Saber article written. Oh,
Remembering 60 years of Mets history, plus
Chase.
the dude.
Chase. One
No.
more little note for you, Chase. As you grow older and you start to talk baseball more with your Uncle Rich, who was so kind as to send me that beautiful note. Here's what I would recommend: go ahead and join the Society of American Baseball research and write a nice article about your old pal Uncle Mickey Morandini here, just as a nice. It would be a nice thank you to me for the cameo that Uncle Rich already paid for.
Yeah, and you could get Mickey off of centerfieldmaz.com, where they are remembering 60 years of Mets history, plus the New York Baseball Giants, Italian American players, and a little bit of rock and roll. So that's what Centerfield Maz is into, okay? And it has 2 flags, an American one and an Italian one. And they're intertwined, like Nikolai Volkov's Russian one and American one. Thank you. Michael Robert Morandini was born on April 22nd, 1966 in Kittening, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's pronounced Kittening, Blake.
Oh, thank you.
Kittening is a real small little town.
Kitting it on. The 5'11" second baseman. Yeah. Threw right, but batted left-handed.
Yeah, they call me ambidextrous. That's what I was. That's the word for it. I can use both hands, the same efficiencies. I was always better at throwing with my with my right, but when I'm up there at bat, you got to teach yourself. You got to figure out ways to set yourself apart from the pack. That's what I always believed, and whether that was from throwing the tennis ball at the wall 50 times in a row, or teaching myself how to bat left-handed, or bathing in tubs at random young boys' households. That's it's just borrowing the washcloths of the house, that sort of thing.
Well, what else are you gonna do? Keep them?
Well, I mean, sure. If it depends on the household, I suppose.
Borrow a towel too, I hope.
Well, sometimes I use the bathrobe or the lady of the house. Don't really need to double up on the absorbency situation with a towel and a bathrobe, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to dirty too many pieces of laundry for the folks to have to keep going and doing. And excuse me, hold on.
Now, can I ask you a question?
I guess at the end of the day, what you really have to think about is the efficiency of the washing machine that's on hand, and whether that washing machine could say sit between first and second base and potentially perform an unassisted triple play.
Yeah, I think that's probably the question you are going to want to ask yourself.
Only 15 players in the history of baseball have done that, and I'm one of them.
That's right. That's what I heard. But before we ask ourselves that question, I did have one question, because you kind of slid it in there.
Oh,
what are you doing taking the baths in the boys' homes? Because you went very detailed once you're in there and you're putting the robe on and all that, but it was very casual that we got in the house, and I'm just in a random little boys' home taking a bath, and then so how did we get there?
I think what it comes down to is you got to find yourself the places where you can make the largest impact in the shortest amount of time. And as an ex-professional baseball player and a Phillies ambassador,
Right.
you might not know what ambassador means. You're only 5, but
well, not me.
No, wrong guy. No, sorry. That's I'm thinking of Chase. You're Blake. There's sound for it's that long A sound in the middle.
Really like to disassociate Chase from this show.
Well,
get win one for the Gipper.
I voted for Ronald Reagan twice. I did. I'll tell you that right now. Anyway, here's the point I was trying to make is when you're out there and you're trying your best to influence the youth of America, and teach them how to be better humans, and the way that I figure it is, anybody who sends a cameo, I'll offer a whole lot more than just a video, so I'll come to the house. We'll have some one-on-one time. We'll play a little game of catch out in the yard. We'll reenact that day in Philadelphia when I was the 8th player in Major League Baseball to ever perform an unassisted triple play. I'll let the kid be Barry Bonds, because I've got to be me. If he makes a special request, occasionally I'll let the kid play as me as well. We'll do it 2 or 3 different times and record it for posterity's sake. Then after a long day outside, depending on the time of year, really, even if it's cold outside, you get a little sweat going when you're out there reenacting something that's just so damn hard to reenact. You got to do 15, 16 at bats to really get the kind of line drive you need to reenact it adequately. And so, after all of that time and all of that work, you end up in the bathtub. That's where you end up.
After attending Indiana University at Bloomington, Minnesota, he was one of the top players in the 1987 International Cup tournament.
I got to stop you right there, Blake. I don't.
Please do.
Look
don't
at
get too far.
Indiana University is in Bloomington, Indiana, not in
sure
Bloomington,
is.
Minnesota.
Look at that! What an asshole! Look at what they wrote.
So this dipshit wop doesn't really, and it's okay. I can say that because I am of the cloth, as it were. But no, it's Indiana. I went to school at the Indiana University in Indiana.
A little too much rock and roll.
Bloomington, Minnesota is where the Mall of America is. Another one of my favorite places.
Mm-hmm.
It's great. Yeah, the Hulkster has one hell of a linguine, brother. I went and met a young kid named Steven in just outside of Bloomington, as a matter of fact. They're in the suburbs of Minneapolis, St. Paul, and his grandfather Peter had sent me a cameo request, and his kid's a little leaguer, and Grandpa was a real big fan of mine when I was with the Cubbies there in the Midwest, and so I came out to the house, and we, what we did? Something completely out of character for me, but we reenacted the day that I performed the 8th unassisted triple play in the history of Major League Baseball.
I fucking hate you so much. God damn.
I don't understand why. I mean, you're a baseball fan. You got a baseball podcast. You're talking about.
Stop. You don't fucking stop.
I don't. Like you asked me to come on the program, and here I am, and we're talking, and I'm just.
Are we? I'm not sure if we are. We kind of just listed.
I'm correcting the mistakes of
you gotta get in my bathtub. He was also a member of Team USA's champion Olympic team in 1988. He was selected as a 5th round pick for the Philadelphia Phillies in 1988. He got to the big leagues as a reserve infielder for the 90 and 91 seasons. In 92, Mickey became the Phillies' main second baseman for the next 6 years. On September 20th, 1992, he turned an unassisted triple play in a game against the Pittsburgh Pirates. With Jeff King as the batter. Oh, that's
I sure am glad you brought that up, Blake.
It's too descriptive and short for me. I was waiting for 50 more paragraphs.
Well, what they fail to mention there is that
who's on first?
Well, Jeff King was the batter, sure, and he really smacked the heck out of that ball. And I just happened to be in the right place at the right time, and I dove for that son of a gun and caught it. I was close enough to second base, but like we talked about 6 inches away, good 6 inches away,
right?
And ran over there and wiped off with my wash rag and touched the bag. Andy Van Slyke was on second. I don't think I mentioned that already to you. But he had already started running to third, and I was close enough to the bag to get him out real quick for that second out. And boy, oh boy, on first base that day was none other than a guy who, in my estimation, steroids or not, should absolutely be in the Hall of Fame, and has, by the way, one of the longest Sabre articles of anybody out there written about him, Mr. Barry Bonds. And he was so quick at the time. By gum, by the time I got to second, he was already there. So I just laid the tag on him, and lo and behold, there you go, eighth unassisted triple play in Major League Baseball history, September 20th, 1992. It was a good day for me. I remember one time.
You just casually fucking pull that goddamn wash rag out in the middle of that. You pull wash rag out.
In the Phillies' 93 pennant season, he batted .247 with 9 triples, 3 homers, 13 stolen bases, and 33 RBIs. In the NLCS against the Braves, Mickey hit a 2-run triple in the final. This centerfield Maz is not not the poet laureate of the internet, and his site's not secure, so God knows what's going to happen to me. In the World Series loss to the Toronto Blue Jays, he had just one start in favor of Mariano Duncan.
I'll tell you, Mariano's a heck of a guy. I really enjoyed playing with him. I will tell you what Mariano hasn't ever done, and certainly didn't do in 1992 or 1993 season. There was turn an unassisted triple play. But that's neither here nor Mariano Duncan. Mariano Duncan also has a Sabre article written about him. I'm going to put that out there for the folks who are listening. If anybody wants to jump on, Chase, I know you're listening.
No, Chase is not. Chase is too young for this program. It's marked explicit for Chase.
I'm not sure if you're aware though, Blake. That's something to think about too. Is boy, oh boy, we weren't supposed to beat the Braves. That Braves team 10 times better than we were, and we ran right through them like a knife through hot butter. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you're aware of this or not, but I turned an unassisted double play during that series. That's not entirely true. I don't know if that's true or not, to be honest. But it feels like it could be true, right?
Yeah. I thought you were going to tell me about all your success against Greg Maddux instead of a fucking another goddamn unassisted glove play. But we'll get on with the goddamn story here, and hopefully, Mariano was the 1990 All-Star second baseman, by the way. So maybe think about that. Morandini,
I took
not
part
known for his hitting, but he did have some good seasons, batting over 290 twice. He was in the league's top 10 in triples 4 times, doubles and singles 2 times. Hey, look at that. You made the All-Star team in 95.
That's what I was about to tell you. I was going to say in 1995, I made the NL All-Star team. Still
95. No, you can't go in the past. That's a new rule. Tell a story from 95 on. You got anything, Mick? Tell me about a time when they called you the Dandy Glove Man.
Cameo.com/Mickey Morandini. Did you know, there's a good story. Okay. Yeah, no, I was thinking about it, but, I'm an ambassador to the Phillies these days. Basically what that means is I'll do a lot of morning news spots, like the local, I'm pretty sure he's a homosexual.
Oh,
he comes out for the bigger games of the opening day and that sort of thing. He'll be out there on the field and he'll ask me a lot of stupid questions, and I'll have to pretend like I don't think they're stupid questions a lot. But yeah, they'll trot me out there along with like 2 other guys that people kind of vaguely remember from the Phillies back in the late 80s into the mid 90s there, and so I'll do the little song and dance, and I'll sign a wash rag or 2, I'll throw them out to the audience, that sort of thing, and then and then Johnny McGayboy will go backstage and listen to me like it's some kind of I'm from that co-host yours, he lived in Chesterton too, and I lived in Chesterton for a little while. Yeah, I used to listen to him and the Mullet Man over there on Indiana 105 quite a bit. I didn't leave town until about 2013. I was
Really?
coaching the Valparaiso High School boys baseball team there in the late 2000s,
How about
early
that?
2010s. Yeah,
Yeah.
right before I got on with the Phillies again, and they brought me out to coach one of their farm clubs out here in Pennsylvania, back
Yeah.
near home.
Wow. Did you guys ever happen to cross paths? Maybe at a county fair or something?
It could have very well been at the Porter County Fair there, or maybe we had a stationery business in Chesterton.
Sure.
Me and the old lady.
Mm-hmm.
It was called uh, 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 Mickey Morandini had the 8th unassisted triple play in the history of Major League Baseball.
It's
Paper supplies.
Sure. Yeah.
There in Chester, you got to differentiate yourself and show, there's a certain level of creativity about you.
It's a big market.
Yeah. A lot of stationery stores in Northwest Indiana.
It's a pretty stationary place.
Yep.
He was a solid.
Usually sticks around the same place. I did once tell my wife about this time that back in 1992, we were on the road. It was September. I was married at the time, obviously. But,
yeah.
We were in Pittsburgh, and I grew up in the outskirts of Pittsburgh there in Kittenin, and so I would see my folks every time I go to Pittsburgh, and it just so happened that my dad got ill on the 19th, the evening of the 19th, and so on September 20th, that weekend, he was supposed to be there to come and watch his boy play, and he missed the unassisted triple play that I had there in that game against the Pirates, and I never forgave him for it. I never talked to him again.
After 8 seasons in Philadelphia, he was traded to the Chicago Cubs in 1998.
Hey, I've been waiting for it for like 25 minutes. That guy doesn't stop talking. I don't know what the hell's going on with his head. If I have to hear him talk about this triple play one more goddamn time, I'm going to break my glasses and turn the whole world into a giant prolapse anus.
Please do, Harry. Fucking kill him and kill me.
I mean, look, he lives in Gabe's head just like I do. You think it's calm in that sumbitch? It ain't calm, by God. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it ain't good. I think you got to check on your pal here.
He's my least favorite character ever. I'll tell you that right now.
I don't know. I don't blame you not one bit. No, sir.
He's a total shit.
Look, I used to call his games when he was in Chicago for the 2 years that he was there. Guy always sucked balls, but when he came up to bat, it was always fun to say his name backwards.
Oh, yeah. You would enjoy that, wouldn't you?
Naram.
There it is. Naram only hit 32 career homers in 4,500 plus at bats, hitting a career best 8 while playing at Wrigley Field in 1988. On July 1st, 1999, he had a rare 2 home run game.
Yeah, that's another typo. It's 1998.
Dipshit. Yeah, this guy's not... I got that feeling Centerfield Maz has got to be an old man, probably.
No, he's got his pictures on the left-hand side of the screen. He's a Italian dipshit. Like, look at his face.
Where's he at?
He's got pictures with Mike Piazza on the left side of the screen.
I don't see any of that. Maybe it's the way I got my thing going. I don't know. Anyway. Fuck him, bitch.
Yep.
Yeah. After
on July
2 seasons, 1st. Fuck it. You already said that. There's a typo, right? Oh, no, 88. Oh, yeah. No, I was reading the July 1st. I thought you were saying July 1st was 99, was 98. That's what I was hearing. Yes. July 1st, 99, rare 2 home run game, and a wild 19-12 Cubs win over the Brewers at Wrigley Field. After 2 seasons in Chicago, Mickey closed his career in 2000 playing for the Blue Jays
had a little cup of coffee in Toronto there.
Mm-hmm.
That was a good time in my life. I did enjoy
Tim Hortons.
Well, Tim Hortons has expanded its footprint quite considerably. There's a Tim Hortons actually in Holland, Michigan, which is close to where your co-host Gabe there he lives. So he gets the chance for his Timbits every once in a while if he wants them. Although the coffee's not as good at Tim Hortons as it is at Dunkin' Donuts, I can attest to that. Back in Philadelphia and Pittsburgh, Dunkin' Donuts kind of on every corner, and the coffee's a lot better there. And I do appreciate a fine cup of coffee, and a nice donut every once in a while. I like the Timbits okay, but certainly not as much as I'd like like a strawberry frosted with some sprinkles, or perhaps like there's one time in 1992 when I converted on the only the eighth ever unassisted triple play in Major League Baseball history, and celebrated with a dozen donuts from Dunkin' Donuts that night. That was how I celebrated. Of course, they would call me the Dandy Glove Man because I had such a good glove there in the infield. As a matter of fact, there's one time in 1992 when I performed an unassisted triple play.
Fucking
hello, are you there?
Hello. One time. No, I'm in 1992.
Oh, okay.
I'm waiting. Right. I took Harry's glasses back to 92. I thought we were going back to watch this fucking triple play.
Hold on. Yeah. Here, I bet you if you think hard enough about it.
There they go.
There they go.
There it is.
There's one.
There it is.
There's two.
Run to first.
Did he get it?
Oh, okay.
He got it.
That's right. Tagged him. How about that?
All right. Just like you described, Whitey. And unassisted, right?
That's the risk of it. Unassisted triple play. And I think there was a guy by the name of Wam Gans or something like that who did that years ago.
Let's see that triple play again. Runner's taken off.
Yeah, runner's going. A bullet. Good play. I mean, that. 2 outs made there at second.
So Mickey gets some scrambling for the record books.
This man who was the old guy who was talking about it, I'm pretty sure he didn't know what way was up and what way was down that day, huh?
There is not a play that's probably more dumb luck than this one, Mickey. So I'm glad you're hanging your hat on it.
I got to tell you, you say that, but that's an ignorant, uninformed opinion, and one that just is completely way off. A less talented man could not do it, and that has proven itself out. Millions, certainly thousands, if not millions of times throughout the history of Major League Baseball. Only 15 times has it happened, and you're looking at 1/15 of them right here, pal. Look, Chase understands it, and he's 5. Why don't you?
If I was in the same point in space and time as you were when that ball was hit, I would have turned that triple play as well.
That's absolutely untrue.
All you have to do is catch the ball and put the tags on.
That's all you have to do? Have you ever caught a Major League Baseball from a player?
Yeah, I have.
I don't believe you.
Yep.
I think you're a liar, sir.
I've had a Major League Baseball player throw me a ball before.
During a Major League Baseball game?
Yeah.
While you were on the field? Were you playing in the baseball game?
It took you
Blake?
5 fucking times to get to something for me to say no, you dumb shit. In 11 seasons, Mickey hit .268 with 1,222 hits, 54 triples, 32 homers, 209 doubles, 597 runs scored, and 351 RBIs, and 1 triple play.
What's your stat line look like, pal?
Not reading his fielding percentage. Jesus Christ, that's absurd. Morandini began coaching high school ball after his playing
Hey,
days.
I'm going to have to stop you right there. I
In
mean,
2011,
look,
he was
one of the
manager of
more
A-ball
important
sport.
one of the more important things that I've ever done is put up a 989 fielding percentage.
Yeah, it's great. It's
at
12th
second
best
base.
all time.
It's 12th best all time.
Yeah.
Out of in the history of baseball. Well, there's only been 11 better second basemen than me, is what that tells you.
Yeah,
Right,
and 91st all time. Yeah,
and I'll tell you this. Let me tell you something. Only 14 other people have ever turned an unassisted triple play, and that puts me in rarefied air. It's more rare than a perfect game, and in my estimation, it's more important historically as well.
Yeah, and you only 90 more second basemen have turned more double plays than you as well, and for
how many
my
more second
estimation,
basemen have turned double plays in your neck of the woods?
In my estimation, nobody's estimation means less than your estimation, my friend. And that is why you began coaching high school ball. In 2011, you were named the manager of the A-ball Williamsport Crosscutters.
Yeah,
And
the
then
Crosscutters, they were part of the Phillies organization back then. Yes, indeed. And then I went to the Blue Claws. Yeah.
And then Lehigh Valley, and then Centerfield Mavs wrote this, and then
then I became an ambassador for the Phillies there, working for the big club again.
I was talking about Centerfield Maz.
Really not doing a lot of anything else. Centerfield Maz is a hell of a good guy, and I appreciate him putting this out there and doing the things that he does and taking pictures with the different folks of Italian descent throughout the years here, and old Mets and things. Got a little Bobby Thompson. That's the shot heard round the world, right? He called his shot that day. Ralph Branca, Joe Pignatato, Lenny Randall, Nelson Figueroa, Andy Chavez, Jose Buto, Paul Blackburn, Rick Reed, Butch Husky, Terry Collins, Jonathan Neese, Al Weiss, Art Shamsky, Gary Gentry, Ron Swoboda, one of my all-time favorites, Ray Knight, Wally Backman. He's got a picture with Wally Backman here. I think actually this is one of the pictures you gentlemen used at some point with Wally Backman, because Wally looks just as bumfuzzled as he ever has. And I know that you boys, you make fun of Wally quite a bit. I should have known what I was getting into when I came this direction. Mookie Wilson, Ron Darling, Felix Milan, Ed Kranepool, Cleon Jones, Jerry Grody, Jerry Kuzman, Bud Harrelson, Dwight, Doc Gooden, right? Mike Piazza, Tom Seaver. This guy's got a relatively who's a list of people. He's not taking a picture with me though, so just so you know, the next time you're in town, Centerfield Maz, you should come by and see me here at the Lincoln Financial Field House. And come see me and Ted Turner, and we'll take a picture together, because Ted kind of hangs out here quite a bit, and if he's not here, he's over at Lincoln Field with the Eagles, watching football games or professional wrestling events. It's happened before.
I hear he's in Montreal a lot.
Yeah, that too. I tried to trade some basketball players for a baseball player one time. I think that got him in a little bit of trouble. But one thing's for sure. This is what I know about Ted Turner and the Atlanta Braves. None of them have ever turned an unassisted triple play. And I turned the 8th in the history of baseball. Like you say, that's what I'll hang my hat on. So long as I've got a hat to hang, I'm a lucky man, and I just appreciate the time that you've offered to me, so very much of it, especially considering I don't even have a Saber biography. So anybody listening out there that might want to jump on and do the biography for me, do a little writing. Even if you just use ChatGPT to write it and just submit it to them, I won't tell them that you did that. At least then we'll have something else to hang my hat on, other than the unassisted triple play from September 20th, 1992, that my dad didn't show up to.
Well, if you don't have a hat to hang, you can always use your neck. Thanks, Mickey, for coming by. It's been real. You've been my favorite.
I just gotta ask one more thing of you, Blake, before we go. So you've been so accommodating throughout this entire experience, and
I'm the warm one.
Boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, I wouldn't rely on anybody else to read a biography quite as well as you were able to. Especially considering the lack of grammatical efficacy
of
the
biggest piece of shit we've
the
ever
writing
used.
itself.
But
please head on over to cameo.com. Just search for Mickey Morandini, and I'll send you a cameo, and we can I'll come to the house, and we can bathe together and throw the ball around.
Yeah.
And it'll be great. And I'll wear your wife's bathrobe. It'll be fantastic. You just got to do it that way. And I gotta ask you one more very serious question before we go.
Sure, yeah.
Would you say there's a good 6 inches?
You just got to do it that way, yeah. Yep. Maybe 5 3/4. That was taxing.
July 5th, 1994. It is the Philadelphia Phillies at the San Diego Padres. Next time, right here on...
I hope Mickey Morandini catches a ball to the fucking eye on the whole ball game.